Jane Goodall was born on April 3, 1943, in London, England. Jane had always been fascinated with animals. She showed interest in chimpanzees at the very early age of just a year old, when her father gave her a toy chimpanzee. She named it Jubilee and carried it with her wherever she went. Jane dreamt of living in Africa and studying animals. Even though this was an unusual and almost unrealistic goal for a girl in that time, her mother always encouraged her to follow her dreams. Jane went to primary school but could not afford to go to a university to continue her education. She didn't let this stop her and decided to be a secretary at Oxford University, where she typed documents. In 1956, one of Jane's friends, Chloe Mange, invited Jane to her family farm in Kenya. While there, she met Dr. Louis S. B. Leakey, and her career took off from there. She worked in Gombe, and her work there got her accepted into Cambridge University, where she earned her PhD in ethology. Throughout her career, she was faced with the obstacle of being a young woman in a relatively male-dominated field. She would be criticized for her methods, like naming the chimpanzees instead of giving them numbers, and was not allowed to live with the chimpanzees unaccompanied. There are many things I admire about Jane Goodall, but the main reason I wanted to speak about her is because she was the first woman scientist I ever learned about in school. All the way back in elementary school, we had learned about Einstein and Isaac Newton and all of the other famous male scientists. But then we started talking about animals, and Jane Goodall's name came up. At the time, I loved all things related to animals. So to hear about a girl who got to go live with monkeys just blew my 8-year-old mind. I'm pretty sure that after learning about her, there was a period of time where I wanted to go to Africa and study animals too. And although I've kicked that dream to the curb, I still have not lost my admiration for Jane. Jane is mainly involved in ethology, the science of animal behavior. She mainly focused on chimpanzee social and family life. She was the first to discover that chimpanzees use tools the same way humans do. She states in her article that the use of tools by chimpanzees could not only shed light on the capabilities of chimpanzees themselves, but also expand our knowledge on how tool using and tool cultures developed in prehistoric man. The most recent paper that Jane has authored is Early Social Exposure in Wild Chimpanzees. Mothers with sons are more gregarious than mothers with daughters. This paper observes maternal social patterns based on infant sex. Jane and her group tested their hypothesis that maternal sociability varied in ways that would encourage sex-specific social development. They predicted that mothers with male children would be more social than mothers with female children because female chimpanzees spend much of their lives alone, whereas males always surround themselves with other chimpanzees. They tested their hypothesis with 37 years of data on maternal grouping within the wild chimpanzees at Gombe National Park in Tanzania. Jane Goodall has uncovered much about chimpanzees and has cleared the path for many researchers after her to build on what she has found. Her next steps are to share what she has learned with the non-scientific community and let people know what they can do to make a difference in the lives of the chimpanzees she has studied for so much of her life.